My neighbor told me to paint my house pink. Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of On the Treadmill with Karen. I'm Karen Schaefer with Remax Properties in Peak Price, Colorado. Great to have you here. Recently, my neighbor told me to paint my house pink. Think about that for a minute. So the question of the day is, who do we take advice from, really, when it comes to selling our real estate here in Southern Colorado, in El Paso County and Teller County? Hi guys, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And it's funny to me that we often will take into consideration what our neighbors tell us, or our friends and our family, and the mailman and all these people, when the reality is you should be taking advice from someone who knows how to sell your home. So, some things to think about is, have you ever performed your own surgery with the mailman on standby? Or, I don't know, have you ever replaced your car engine with your hairdresser prepped with her scissors? Or prepared a 7-course meal for world leaders with Oscar Meyer ready to be your sous chef? That's kind of what this is like. When we take advice or feedback from the wrong people, we often do the wrong things. So that's what I wanted to talk about, and how that fits in with your Teller County and El Paso County real estate today. So I always think taking advice on selling your home from someone is kind of like accepting advice on trading stocks. When somebody's like, oh, have you bought stocks from, this stock because I heard it's really hot right now? And my first question is always, well, how many do you own? Because how many shares do you own, right? Because generally, what's the answer? If you know it, write it down below, right? The answer is none. Well, why are we accepting information from people like that don't have any experience, any knowledge, anything? And I really think that when it comes to selling our homes here in Southern Colorado, there's 3 things that we should consider when somebody gives us advice. How many homes they've sold, we should run the numbers, and we should think about what our gut's telling us. So how many homes has that person who's giving you advice, your neighbor or your mailman or your mom, how many homes have they sold in this area? How long were those homes on the market? What was the sales price versus the market price? And just really ask yourself, is their feedback qualified? That's the big thing, right? Is what they have to tell you valuable? And maybe it is, but then ask that professional. Hey, this is what my mom said. What do you think about that? The other thing we talked about is running the numbers. This is so important, and I'm always amazed at how few people run the numbers. Whew, you guys, I feel like I'm running today because I've already been shoveling snow, and I've been on the treadmill already this morning because I had some conference calls, and so here we are again. Do you ever feel like you're running every day too? So let's run the numbers. There's all these people out there willing to give you advice, discount agents, and online offers like Zillow, all these people. But what are the numbers? That's really important, especially when you're working with these people who want to be kind of the lower end of the market. More often than not, what you'll find is discount agents also sell at a discount. They're not going to tell you that, but generally speaking, you might save $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 if your home is expensive in commission, which is a lot of money. But the reality is that same discount agent, because they did not have the funds to actually market your property correctly, or even the skill set, they sold your house at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 below market value. So you have to be careful about that. What about an online service? There's a lot of these now that are making offers just randomly. They never come see your house. They don't do any of that, but they randomly make an offer. Well, because most people don't read the fine print, that's what they're relying upon. They're relying upon you not reading the fine print. So the fine print says it costs 7% commission to sell your house. Now, most real estate agents sell it for around, 5 to 6. That's not regulated, just so you know. So I'm only giving you averages. But these places sell for 7%. They also require a specific amount of money for needed repairs. Now, they've never been to your house. They have no idea what repairs are needed. but they charge you a flat rate for those needed repairs. Chances are, again, you are going to make $10,000, $20,000 less than if you're actually taking advice and working with someone who's qualified to sell your home. So you have to be kind of careful. So first is, ask the questions. How many houses have this person sold? Are they experienced? Do they know my market? Second is run your numbers. Make sure that what you're getting from these people is actually accurate versus what you're just hearing in general, what's hearsay. And number 3, and this is a big one, and my husband laughs at me all the time because one of my favorite sayings is heed the gut. In other words, what's your gut telling you? So generally, you'll find your gut has excellent advice. We all have super smart guts. It just depends on whether or not we choose to listen to them. So if you think about what's important in the sale of your home, it's important to work with somebody who resonates with you, who understands your area, your market, and mostly can exceed your expectations while still providing a high level of knowledge, problem-solving strategies. They're able to tell you how to save money versus spending money and gives you excellent service. So the next time somebody offers you advice on selling your Southern Colorado home here in Colorado Springs, Woodland Park, the Ute Pass, wherever that is, ask your gut if their feedback is qualified. And chances are you'll get the correct answer. So if you like this, please like it here on this page, share it with your friends, leave any comments, and also don't forget about every single Wednesday you can drop off or pick up boxes at A to Z Storage with our Every Box Counts initiative. We'd love to have you drop off or pick up so we can do our part in saving the environment. You guys, once again, thanks for joining me with another episode of On the Treadmill with Karen. This is Karen Schaefer with RE/MAX Property in Peak Price, Colorado. I'll talk to you on Thursday.